Okay, whenever you're ready, just take a deep breath in, as always, and breathe it all out. Perfect. As you use your mind to communicate to your body that you can breathe, so you shall breathe. And you can relax, so therefore you shall relax. You can feel how faithfully your body follows your guidance. Because your body has a caregiver, and they are you. This mind-body connection means that your body listens to the goings-on in your mind, and as you displace goings-on that might have stressed you or have caused you worry, with thoughts that have you breathe deeply, and thoughts that have you relax the muscles, and thoughts that have you feel secure as an adult, you can get used to these thoughts that are relaxing and soothing. Tonight, you're going to hear my answers to the question of what ought a person think in order to be relaxed in this universe? In the same world where some of your friends and some of your colleagues are relaxed and happy, you too can take on some of the attitudes and perspectives that allow you as well to be relaxed and happy. Now we're going to begin with a process of intentional relaxation. Imagine there's a wave of relaxation beginning to spread from the very top of your head going down. And feel that relaxation begin to soften the muscles of your forehead and the muscles around your eyebrows and your eyelids. Then send the softness through the muscles of your face, down your cheeks, down to the muscles around your mouth and your jaw. Pay particular attention to the muscles of your jaw, because too often we brace for impacts that don't come. If you agree that where you are right now, there's no chance of impact, then let your jaw relax and loosen. Then send that softness down into your neck, through the muscles of your neck and your shoulders. And again, when there's no impact to brace for, you can relax, and you shall relax. Then send that softness from your shoulders through the muscles of your back, all of the way down to your lower back. And from your shoulders down your arms, down your biceps and triceps, down into your forearms, down into your wrists, all of the way down into your hands and your fingers. Then send that softness further down into your hips and down into the muscles of your legs. Those muscles, too, can relax and soften. And you can feel that as long as your body's under your guardianship, which is for the rest of your life, your body has someone to relax it and soothe it. Either it's going to be relaxed and happy from the beginning of the morning, or you'll be present to cause it relaxation and softness as you start to get good at communicating with your body and causing it the good feelings that permit us to be at our best. Now, from head to toe, your body's been listening. The same body that started out more tense and distressed is relaxed and calmer. I'll take no credit for what you've been doing internally. There's still no connection between hypnotist and body that doesn't go through your mind. The true connections between your mind and your body, where the thoughts in your head, whether they're my answers or your answers, those thoughts are overheard by your body, and your body understands where you're safe, where you can relax, where therefore you shall relax. This is your mind-body connection. It's real, it's accessible, it's palpable. From head to toe, your body overhears when you're causing yourself some comfort, when you wish for the muscles to soften, when not only your diaphragm, but all the muscles respond to the message that it's safe to breathe. It means you never have to suffer the distress of having no one there to give you a soothing thought or a comforting sentiment. In all future situations, your body's either relaxed from the beginning or you're causing it to become relaxed, and both are acceptable. Let there be no more days or nights where your body's in distress with no one to think soothingly to you, with no one to help you feel all right again or to help you stop bracing. As your body's guardian, you'll be the person who is always present, who can always take care of you, who can always meet your needs. When the world's too unloving, you don't have to suffer the distress of an unloving world. When your self-love comes from the person who was there since the beginning and will be there until the end. When others are disrespectful, your self-respect is the thing that remedies the gap. When others are not very accepting, your self-acceptance lets you walk with your head held up high, still proud of who you are. Your thoughts about yourself come from the person who knows you best. Maybe now at this point, even more than your mom or dad, more than teachers, more than siblings. It's you who can love you most constantly and consistently alongside with others in your life. It's you who can respect you most consistently alongside with others you respect. It's you who can accept you so that others know you've gazed into your soul, you've liked what you see, and if they get to know you, they're gonna like you too. And then you never have to suffer the kind of stress that comes from being totally unloved, disrespected, or neglected. In every room you walk into, in every conversation you're in, there's gonna be at least one person, sometimes more, but at least one person who's on your side, who's got your back, who'll help you to find relaxation, confidence, security, empowerment, or anything else that a person needs during the goings-on of one's day. It used to be you would find this security in a parent or an older sibling until you became an adult, and now you can find this security in the adult who is you. In your adult life, you get to feel the constant security of there being a caregiver present, who has your best interests in mind, who knows what you want, and who'll make no mistakes about you. Let that be one of the knowns about your future. We don't know how people will receive you at the next event, but we do know you're gonna be there to accept you, to respect you, to love you, and then anyone who's observing understands how they need to treat you as well to be in your good graces. We don't know exactly what happens with the weather in a month, but we do know that once you check the forecast, you can prepare for whatever the circumstances are. We don't know what's around each corner and what's over each hill, but we also don't have to. Because when the time comes, you'll have a line of sight. You'll see what this one universe on this one timeline consists of, and it's the only universe and timeline you have to navigate. So much of your distress had come from simulated universes that are worse than this one, and simulated timelines that never converged with this one. The timeline you're on and the universe you're in still preserves your aliveness. It preserves your status as a human being among human beings. It preserves your adulthood once you've passed the age of 18. It's a known about your future that there's going to be someone there to take care of you. That's a vow you can make to yourself and fulfill in good times and in bad, as long as you live, even if you're 100 years old one day. So what if something happens? You'll be there to figure it out with a line of sight as to the problem, dealing only with the one timeline in this one universe you're witnessing as an adult of that future age. That's my answer to the question of what if. Thankfully, most what-if scenarios don't even have to be considered when the thing that keeps happening is life goes on. Earth keeps turning on its axis. You grow one day, 1 month, 1 year older. And you're still on the long journey toward old age. If we're going to guess about the future, we can guess that. It was predetermined before you were even born that you'd be born as a human being in modern times. And it's true, there are so many details we don't know. But we do know you were born into the most adaptable, capable, and intelligent of all the species on Earth. Possibly the galaxy. Whatever's ahead, you'll be perceptive and intelligent enough to gain a line of sight, see what you're dealing with in this one world, and deal with it, probably not perfectly, but well enough for an adult of that future age. It means you don't have to deal with the infinite possible universes that might be, that could happen in a what-if simulation. There are potentially infinite what-if simulations that defy the laws of physics or the rules of our society or human nature. While in this universe, on this timeline, what you witness unfolding every day is you're still on the long journey to old age. Your life keeps moving a little bit forward. You keep learning a little bit more, you keep deepening relationships, you keep figuring out what kind of life you want to live, what your values and principles truly are. That's what will continue beyond the horizon. When you remain perceptive and intelligent, then you can handle whatever details manifest when the time comes. You never have to suffer the distress of not knowing which one of infinite simulated worlds you'll end up in. If you have to guess, it's the one where at the end of the night you go back to bed and you're falling asleep to live life again the next day, if we're to guess. Another way to guess at the future is to plan for something to happen that is in your sphere of influence. So you don't have to guess what your next vacation spot's going to be when you're the one to buy the ticket. You can just plan for the destination that you choose, plan the flights, plan the hotel, plan to exchange the currency. That's the best way to ensure that something happens in the future. As for everything else, the unplanned things that we don't want, you've always dealt with. You've dealt with them, often without prior preparation, and usually successfully. Always successfully enough that life goes on. So whatever unknowns might be in the future, you'll deal with them like an adult of that future age, so probably not perfectly, but successfully enough that life goes on. We'll kick the can down the road. Let the future you of tomorrow morning handle tomorrow morning. Let the future you of next month handle next month. Let the future you of next year handle next year. Tonight, when you can relax here, the truth right now, the definite, unquestionable truth is you can relax. So perhaps you shall. In this unsimulated world, you can breathe and you can breathe deeply. You can relax and you can relax deeply. You can sum yourself up as someone who can take care of themselves, whatever manifests in the future. And then you're trusting the person who was there when your parents dropped you off at kindergarten for the first day. Because even as a very young child, you could see what's happening, you could hear what's happening, you could reason generally what to do, and it was good enough to have gotten through your first day at kindergarten and grade 1, your first year of high school and beyond. You're the person who's successfully navigated loss, grief, heartbreak. You've navigated illness and injury, not with meticulous preparation, but by navigating the only universe, the one universe that you're actually in. If we must tend to ourselves, we don't have to tend to anything imaginary. We'll tend to ourselves in the ways we must. Let this be a known about your future so that in every imaginable situation, you can still take care of yourself. You can figure out your next steps. You can preserve your worth as a dignified and worthy human being. And you're still on the long march to growing old. So let the stock market fluctuate. Let the weather be somewhat unpredictable. You'll survive. Your life continues. If you must bring an umbrella, you shall bring an umbrella. If you must wear a sun hat, you shall wear a sun hat when the day comes. When tonight you can relax peacefully, you shall relax peacefully. There will be other times and places that will demand your complete attention. Some activities demand a faster heart rate, deeper breathing, more muscular activation. This is not one of those times and places. So here you can relax, trusting that in the future, if you must act, you shall act. But you'd never have to act in response to a simulated world that the eyes can't see, that the ears can't hear, that others do not inhabit, and which exists only in the imagination. All that distress that came not from the mundane nature of this world, but the simulated worlds of the imagination, that stress doesn't have to be carried any further. you can release that kind of stress that came from asking, what if? How about hypothetically, counterfactually? Tonight we establish that you can handle unanticipated events even when you were a kindergarten student, with even a 4 or 5-year-old's eyes and ears and heart and brain. You can handle whatever is up ahead next with your adult eyes and ears and heart and brain, which sum up to be as good as your parents and teachers used to be when you were a kid. In adult life, you don't need someone else to be a guardian looking after you all the time when you can take care of yourself using all the knowledge that you have about yourself. It wards off the kind of distress that comes from feeling like there's no one to take care of you. It adds a known about your future where whatever's over the horizon, when you see it, when you gain a line of sight, you'll decide what to do and handle it capably enough that probably at the end of the night you're back in bed and you're still on the long march to growing old. Good use of the imagination imagines which vacation spot you'd like to go to next. It imagines how you'd like to throw a friend a surprise party. Good use of the imagination could imagine a new invention, a new song, a new story that doesn't exist until you bring it forth into this world. You can absolutely use the imagination to creative purposes, but we don't scare our friends or family by asking, what if we all die tomorrow? Because in a simulated world, that is plausible and compelling. In this universe, in this material, physical world that you inhabit, that I inhabit, we can celebrate our aliveness each passing day. In this world, the average human being, at least in Canada, lives into their 80s. In this world, at least in Canada, there are social safety nets. We are never excommunicated from the city or banished from the city to fend for ourselves in the wilderness. In this world, you have a tomorrow. Tomorrow has a tomorrow. As mundane as this world actually is, this is the world in which you can be more relaxed and use the imagination for more exciting things like a new vacation or a new book that you might write or a book that you'd like to read. All your life, you've been protected not because you guessed correctly what would happen. You've been protected because whenever things happen in your life, you'd see them, you'd hear them, you'd reason about them, your heart gets involved at some point, and between the consensus of your eyes and ears and brain and heart, you figure out your next steps. That kept you going through all through the first day of kindergarten, all of high school, all of your first job, your first relationship, your first heartbreak. It's going to get you through tomorrow. It'll get you through the day after that. As long as you live, you're going to be there to ask, what shall I do next with what I've got? Let that be a known about your future, where there's going to be you there to answer the question of, where's my glass half full? What have I got today? And then the follow-up question of what shall I do with all that I've got? That future you is even wiser and more experienced in life than you are today, and the future you will actually have a line of sight to each day in the future, which frees you from any obligation to guess with no information what might be, hypothetically. When you're driving down a highway, there are infinite things that might be around the bend. But there's only one road that actually can be witnessed when the time comes. You don't have to guess with no line of sight whether you have to accelerate or decelerate, stay in the same lane, change to the leftmost lane or the rightmost lane. You're just going to keep your eyes on the road, your hands on the wheel, you keep driving. At some point, you round the bend, you navigate it successfully. At the end of your journey, you pull into a parking spot. Same thing when you're climbing a hill. There are infinite things that could be there over the hill. Pothole, traffic jam, moose, coyote. But there's one real universe that you're going to actually witness on this timeline. And then when you witness it, you'll know to accelerate or decelerate, even whether you have to come to a complete stop or stay in the same lane or change lanes or do a U-turn. So you don't have to guess. Climbing that hill, you'll wait and see, and when you see, you'll navigate what you see. This is how you're going to navigate your career, your relationships. It's how you're going to navigate a changing world, changing politics, changing technology. It's by witnessing day after day what manifests before you and navigating that one world. If you think to the future at all, you can make sound predictions guessing that you're going to be there to take care of whatever manifests. And you can additionally plan things. Like if you plan to ask someone to marry you, you up the chances of being married to that person. If you plan a certain career path, you up your chances of succeeding in that career path. You plan to complete writing your first novel, you up your chances of writing your first novel. It's worth planning for the outcomes you want, where the outcomes are within, at least somewhat, within your control. The rest you'll deal with when the time comes, and without any prior preparation, just like you did as a kindergarten student. Because back then you didn't know everything. You didn't know very much at all. You were kind of helpless and vulnerable, but your eyes and ears and heart and brain were good enough to understand where you had to sit, what you had to do, what not to do, at least once the teachers set the rules out. Today, you're an adult. In adulthood, you're navigating this world that's made for us adults with the faculties and capabilities of an adult. This is a truth that obviates so many of the well, what if, or how about, or it might be, it could be. Because if you're an adult, then you handle things like an adult. Again, it doesn't mean perfectly, it doesn't mean in a universally agreeable manner. It means with more than about 18 or 20 years of knowledge, experience, learning, education, and understanding of what it means to be you. So the universal answer to the question of what if a bad thing happens is, if that's the universe you're in, you only have to deal with that one universe, and you don't have to deal with the infinite simulated worlds. You can deal with one universe. You can drive your car on one road until you reach your destination. You can live your one life in this one world undistracted by simulations of worlds that are harsher or crueler than this one. Thankfully, past adulthood, you don't live in a world where you're still a child. In truth, you live in a world where you're definitely among the adults. We don't live in a worse world of medieval times or the Dark Ages. We live in this world in the 21st century. We don't live in a worse world before modern medicine, before the rule of law, before democracy. We live in this world with modern medicine and the rule of law, with democracy. And this is the only world you need to be adapted to. So, as you feel your existence in this world, as you feel it in every breath, in the feeling of the air on your skin, the feeling of your hands and feet where they're resting, you're feeling your actual physical existence in a world where you succeed as life on Earth. Let all of this sink in. With your heart, with your mind, with every cell from head to toe. Embrace the truths about being you in this world, in this universe. It is good to be you on this timeline. We don't live in a simulated world where things are perfect, and we don't have to. In this imperfect world, you can breathe as deeply as you need to. You can relax here tonight. In this world, you can look forward to more living, more leisure, more rest, more socializing, more of how you might take care of yourself. All the distress that comes from what isn't goes away when you're focused on what is, and which is comforting, beautiful, empowering, even sublime. Sometimes when we're immersed in nature, we can't help but notice that we are alive too. Surrounded by concrete and motor vehicles. Sometimes we forget our aliveness, but you are completely alive. And that gives you a future. From head to toe, you can feel that these trillions of cells are listening. When you've given yourself some credit, when you've recognized your ability to get through not just kindergarten way back, but also tomorrow and the next day and a career and changing geopolitics, changing social mores, changing everything. You can trust yourself to witness what's happening every moment of every day and to then decide what you shall do next. Most of the worries you have get tossed out the window when you round the bend or crest the hill. Because once you can gain a line of sight, you'll witness that this one universe you inhabit is quite all right. It's rather navigable. You never have to suffer the distress that comes from feeling like you've got to navigate potentially infinite possible universes. That's not how you drive down a highway. That's not how you got through kindergarten. The way you navigate this world and successfully is with your eyes, your ears, your brain, and your heart, observing this one timeline unfold in this one world you're in, and deciding at each point what you shall do next. If you ask what if, let it be a fun what if. If you ever think, well, it could be, let it be imaginative and inspirational. If you ever think, well, it should be like this, let it inspire you to run for office or take up activism or to otherwise effect some change in an imperfect world. At least you never have to feel the kind of distress that comes from thinking you're totally helpless, or that you don't know anything, or that you can't predict the future, or that you have to think of a million possibilities, because you don't have to suffer that distress. You can be as you are, breathing as you are, feeling the comforts in your body as you are, and nothing bad follows. Sometimes only the anxious mind believes erroneously that without solving every puzzle that you're somehow in danger. But no, it was never your anxious thoughts that kept you alive and healthy and happy and well. You've been alive and happy and healthy and well because your eyes, your ears, your heart, and your brain work together to represent truth to you so you can navigate truth. Here you've heard my answers for what I believe to be truthful and worth expressing, and what I believe to be truthful about you in the future for absolute sure. When these truths add up to you'll take care of yourself, you'll meet your own needs, then the simulated worlds where you aren't okay are unreal. In this world, on the days when you don't start out okay, you'll help yourself become okay. Most days you start out okay, you end the day okay. Some days you start out okay, something happens, you're not so okay, and then you'll be present to make yourself okay again. Some days, there's a lot of things that can happen, and you'll still be present to help yourself become okay, to breathe deeply enough, to gain a line of sight, to decide what to do after consulting with your eyes, your ears, your heart, and your brain. So many other worlds that you'd simulated got tossed as soon as you gain a line of sight. So you don't even have to worry. If your eyes and ears, your brain and your heart are good enough, then turn to your senses for truth. Then navigate the one truth. And that's how you continue to live successfully. You can deepen a career navigating the truth day after day after day. When good truths present, you'll be accepting that good truths happen to you. When not so good truths happen, you'll handle them like an adult until the truth becomes better. It's all acceptable. It's all manageable. We don't have to worry tonight about something that's totally unacceptable or beyond your ability to deal with it. So let it all sink in. If indeed your body's more relaxed by holding these ideas in your head and heart, then my answers are your answers too. When you think as I've suggested, you're never the only one. There's at least me who thinks like this. And there's other people who've heard me speak who think like this too. So let what works sink in. As you hear me count up from 1 to 5, begin to bring your attention outward and feel energy return with every count. 1, become aware of your body on the cushions, your hands crossed. If they're crossed, your feet crossed or apart if they are. Notice how the rest of your body's sitting or lying on the cushions that you're on. 2, notice any sounds outside of my voice, especially the music, which now begins to fade. Become present as to how good you feel, because the truth of this universe is good enough that you can relax. The truth of the timeline that you're on is good enough to permit peace. And it's not just because I've said so. My answers are the same answers your own eyes and ears will keep seeing day after day as you watch life unfold. So believe your own eyes, your own ears, believe your own reasoning, especially when the evidence of the senses backs it up. 3, 4, then feel a huge wave of energy go all of the way up to the top of your head, making you feel refreshed, making you feel energized, making you feel clearer about who you are and how you'll be there tomorrow too. And you'll be there as long as you live, so that you can feel secure in this world. And you can feel safe in this world. And you can feel like, despite unknowns, there are some pretty solid constant knowns that obviate so many of the unknowns. As energy goes all the way up, then 5, let it all sink in and then open your eyes to return fully back to the room out here.